My science teacher, who's one of the most influential people in my life when I was growing up, Mr. Hayes, was pro-life, and that was the first time I've ever heard of somebody being pro-life before. I never really thought about it either way up until then, but you know, as a 12-year-old, I just decided, well, if I ever got pregnant one day, I don't want anybody telling me if I can or can't keep the baby, you know. So I don't know, I just thought it was a little weird. Never really thought about it. Great man, never judged him for it, but you know, he was the first person that turned me on to this. A few years down the road, I ended up dating a guy who, a girlfriend before me, and we were dating, but he had a girlfriend, and she had an abortion without telling him, and it really psychologically like messed him up. He was like just like heartbroken, just so like just broken because of it. And nobody ever talks about the effect that it has on men psychologically. Even though men don't have to carry the baby, you still need their seed to make a baby. Women can't have babies by themselves, no matter how much science or technology, you know, is created, no matter how fearless and awesome women think they are, they can't get pregnant by themselves. So it does take two people to make a baby. Now I just looked into the abortion info about the bill that got signed into law, and it's truly sickening. And fortunately, I've never had an abortion. I think if I were younger and I got pregnant, I would definitely have probably had one, because at that time I felt like I couldn't take care of a baby. But I think a lot of women aren't taught how their bodies work. They're not taught about things like Billings method or Rhythms method, or just, you're just taught to get birth control pills or a condom and just like deal with it. You're never taught about the long-lasting effects of birth control and what it does, cancer and hormone issues and all these other things that birth control causes. And to me, looking at it that way, it's not really empowering for women. Neither is abortion. And you know, I've had a lot of women friends, female friends, who I love and adore, and I know they're good people, that have had abortions. And I think a lot of times women, you know, sometimes get on this bandwagon of like trying to front and be like, oh, they're proud of having an abortion, because they don't really want to feel the guilt and the shame of what they've done. A lot of my girlfriends that have had abortions have confessed to me that they've always regretted it. One of my friends said she woke up every day crying for like a year, you know, when she had her abortion. There are people that go insane. You know, there's high rates of depression, there's cancer, there's you know, the possibility that you might not be able to conceive when you have a child. I had one of my friends tell me that she had abortion like 4 times, and she said it changes you, and not for the better. Those are her exact words. So now I remember a few years ago where there was this whole like campaign like Shout Your Abortion, which was sickening. So, you know, it's also like, again, you know, the democratic, liberal, leftist way, I should say, not liberal, but leftist way of thinking is don't take responsibility for your actions, you know. And this whole like hashtag Shout Your Abortion campaign that was going on was making it easy for women to not really think about what they've done and just, you know, get angry at anybody who questioned what they did or asked them, you know, how they felt about what they did. They just hashtag Shout Your Abortion. And you can look it up on YouTube, and they have like monologues and, you know, like comedy skits or like stand-up comedy with videos talking about people and their abortion. And it's sickening, because even the women that I know that have had abortions, they're not proud of it. And I don't think that's something that you should be proud of. Now, I think that our society has been brainwashed in a way where women think it's okay. Like I did for a while. It was like no big deal. I never even thought about it. And the way that they do that is they say, oh, it's just a clump of cells. It's just a clump of cells. It's not a human being. It's not a body. You're just killing a clump of cells. Now, I would always be like, well, it's not going to grow into a baby, so you're still killing something. So I personally believe that life begins at conception, but you can still kind of sort of use that argument that it's not a fully developed human being, it's just a clump of cells. But now that this has passed, this bill has passed, where's the argument now? Where is it? Where is it? A clump of cells? It's a baby now. It's a full baby. If you're up to 8-9 months, you know, in your third trimester, why don't you just give it up for adoption? Why don't you just induce labor? How can you, you know, feel a baby moving inside of you and breathing with you, and you're sharing food, and, you know, and still kill it? Like, what kind of demon from hell are you? And the people that were passing the law, they passed a law, they were cheering like they won a sports game or something. And then they lit the One World Trade Center pink. This is sickening. And you know this isn't about money. I mean, it's not about women's rights. It's about money. So because they don't like cremate the aborted babies or throw them away, they use them in cosmetics, they use them in vaccines, they use them as flavor enhancers. Yes, flavor enhancers like in junk food like Cheetos. So I know this sounds crazy, but go look for information that supports what I'm saying. There are gonna be people like Snopes, you're probably gonna look it up, and they're gonna be like, no, fact checked, baby parts aren't used for flavor enhancers. Well, there was a patent that they used for certain it was flavor enhancers made from aborted babies. I should do a video on that. Maybe I can do a video on that. But if I can find a link to it, I'll put in the links. It's old, but yes. So it's used for all kind of things. There's a huge industry to be made off of aborted babies. Okay, there is also cord blood banking. Right, or the placenta from the blood, or the blood from the placenta. You know, there's different baby parts, and they like the babies whole, right? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about, you know, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go with the Satanist thing. You know, with the whole, like, you know, drinking blood and sacrificing babies, and, you know, it's just now they're getting people to sacrifice full babies legally. Okay. Also, nobody's talking about how fucking racist, I hate to curse, how racist this is. How racist is racist, okay? Considering most babies that are born are black, right? Where's Black Lives Matters now? Where are Black Lives Matters now? Why do Black Lives matter now? Do they matter now? Because most of these babies that are going to be getting aborted are going to be black babies, okay? So racist, right? The most effective racists are the ones that pretend to be your friend and pretend that they're doing something for you. But, you know, they get you to kill yourself, to kill your offspring, right? And then, you know, my friend, another one of my friends had an abortion a while ago, and then when she went to have her baby, she found out they damaged her uterus was up. She was lucky to get pregnant, but she had issues having pregnancy or getting pregnant because the abortion that she had like damaged her body. So I think she had to have a C-section because of it, and she had complications because of it. So there are all these complications that come with getting the abortions themselves: physical complications, there's psychological and emotional complications, and of course there's a spiritual side, but that's what everybody goes to first. But I wanted to bring those up before I would just want to say how immoral it is and how now it's officially a war against good and evil. I'm going to say that. It's officially a war against good and evil. When are we defunding Planned Parenthood? When are we defunding him? Can we do that like next week? Can we do that next week? Can we do that now? Just defund them. Just defund them. This is legal. If people want to get it done, they'll find a way. Just fucking like defund Planned Parenthood. This is insane. Yeah, I even think, I haven't talked to some yet, but I have a feeling that some of my friends that are pro-choice still think that this is very creepy and very dark and very demonic. That this is okay. Up to the time is birth, up to the time before the baby is born, you can have an abortion. So, I mean, I don't know. I remember one of my friends put a picture on Facebook of a baby that it was full-term abortion, and they took tongs and they were ripping the baby out. They were taking the like ripping the arms off and all the limbs off. It was just horrible. And then, you know, I've seen videos of babies trying to get, like, people like sonograms, right? And they're sticking something up and the baby's fighting to stay alive. How can you kill, like, it's not a clump of cells at that point. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not even sorry. It's not a clump of cells, okay? I just don't, you know, there's a really good group. I'm going to definitely put their links in the bottom, called Save the Storks. And they're of the mindset that they know they can't stop abortions from being done. But what they do is they have buses. And they're growing, by the way, and they sit these buses in front of abortion clinics, and they offer a woman a free sonogram before she goes in. And do you know, 4 out of 5 times, the woman chooses to keep her child, whether she's going to give it up for adoption, but she chooses not to abort the baby. 4 out of 5 times. And what's interesting is that when you go into Planned Parenthood, they don't give you sonograms. They don't let you see the baby, because they know if you make that connection and you know that there's a living, breathing human being inside of you, then most people will not kill that baby. They will not abort the baby. I don't know. I was doing a live stream last night, and some of my subscribers were asking me if I knew about this, and they were telling me, and I was like, what? Blew my mind. I mean, you know, and I guess the mayor made some kind of snide comment that, oh, we had to do this because we have an administration that is like devolving this country. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to that effect. Now it's officially a war against good and evil. I mean, it was, but now I'm just like, all right, it's done. It's done. It's like the devil has shown his face. And New York and California, and I'm from California, but there's just a lot of darkness in both of those states. I mean, there's darkness in Mississippi. I'm looking at Mississippi. I'm thinking of that Nina Simone song, Mississippi Goddamn. I guess there's patches of light and dark everywhere, but as far as legislation and laws, there's just a lot of darkness in New York and California. And wow, that's all I have to say. But anyway, you guys, that's my video on that. Subscribe to my backup channel. I will leave some of the stuff that I talk about in the links below, and see you next time. Peace, truth, and love you guys. Bye-bye.